Hey guys, Justin here at Shiloh Smith Farms. Today we're going to tackle a little project here in the upper pasture. This is the new pasture that it's woodland right now that we're trying to turn into pasture. And we're going to be putting up a 48-inch tall woven wire field fence. And today we're going to do what is, you can either look at it as the backbone or the cornerstone of any fencing project. And that is setting your corners. Now we've already set these posts 3 foot in the ground, and what we're going to do today is we're going to come about 48 inches, anywhere between 30 and 48 is optimum, with an 8-foot brace post. So the horizontal is going to be 8 foot long, and then I'll show you the pins that we're going to use. I'm going to drill a hole through this post, and then I'm going to drive a brace pin into the end of these horizontal posts. And then you won't see it today, but in another video you'll see me take some smooth wire and a tensioner, and I'll actually take and tie these two corners and the horizontal to make an H brace. And to me, this is the best corner that we can do here. We're not doing a very long run on this side. Now it's going to be a lot longer when we go down the other side of the fence. And on that side, we'll do a couple of these H braces, 2 or 3 spots, especially where the elevation changes, to keep the fence pulled down to the ground. You can't just use T-posts because the pressure will pull those T-posts out of the ground. You also have to be careful. You don't want to go too high with this H brace, because when I put the ratchet on this lower part where I'm going to be pulling the fence across, if you get too high, you'll actually make a lever and pull that first post out of the ground. So 8 foot, when you're doing a 48-inch tall fence, 8 foot is your optimum length for your brace. If we were doing a taller, if we was doing a 6 foot, then we need to go up to a 10-foot corner post. Now, when it comes to these post and the way that I'm going to do this today, I want to remind you of the motto here at Shiloh Smith Farms. This isn't how to build a brace, this is how I build a brace. And so you'll see my helpers jumping in and out of here, holding the post up for me while I drive it. After I get these holes drilled, I'll show you the pins that we're going to use and what I use for the brace pins. Now you can go to Tractor Supply and spend about $10 or $12 for a brace pin that's actually called that. But I'm going to be using landscape spikes that are 8 or 10 inches long, 3/8 in diameter, to drive into these posts. And I'll show you that when we get to it. But right now, let's go ahead and drill this one. I've already marked it at about 48 inches. And so I'm going to drill through with this auger bit right now. Now I'm going to make me a little spot close to the center. I'm just eyeballing. Now, I know I could have drew a line and did a lot of stuff, and let me tell you, the hardest thing for me is any type carpentry work, because I was a machinist before I was an engineer, and we overdo and overthink everything. But all I'm wanting is a spot close to the center so that my helper can see it when she needs to line it up. These are the spikes. You can get these for just a couple of dollars at your big box retailer. I won't call their name, the one that's got the blue sign with the white letters, but it's a lot cheaper than any brace pins that I found. And I've got a fence that we built several years ago using these, and they've given no problem. I actually leave the head sticking out a little bit from the post so that I got something to wrap my wire around, and it seems to work out real well for our purposes. you don't mind, hang around to the end of this video, because I got some important things to talk about. As we're talking about the integrity of our fence, I also want to talk about the integrity of our business, of our country, and some things that, some news you need to know about that affects your wallet and affects your table and affects your neighbors. And it's really on my heart, and I just want to talk to you about it. So please stay with us to the end of this video. And if you don't mind, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video. Like, subscribe, and share. Those are the greatest things you can do, and it won't hurt our feelings if you want to comment. We've had a lot of views and a lot of subscribers, but not very many comments. Don't comment telling me what I'm doing wrong unless you just can't help it, because I know it's not perfect. It's not what I'm shooting for. I'm looking to get this fenced in so I can get my buck goats moved over here away from my nanny goats, so I can control my breeding program a little better and start getting this pasture ready for some more beef to be raised here on the farm. $99, $100. Explain some of the reason, and just in case you don't know, and I know some of you are farmers and ranchers and you know everything there is to know about fence, so I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but basically what we've done by putting this brace in is, instead of that corner having to hold all the pressure when this fence comes across it, I'm going to be tying this post to the bottom of that post just like it's a lever, and then when I pull the tension tied on this fence, it'll have to pull both of these posts that are pulling against themselves. Both of them have to come out of the ground in order for that corner to move. It's what we'll do at every gate, and like I say, it's what we'll do at every elevation change on the property. Now, speaking of changes, one of the reasons that we started a YouTube channel, the first family that I ever watched, the first person I ever watched a YouTube video was Mike and Aaron at Our Wyoming Life. Our Wyoming Life. They are a cattle ranch, a farm store in Gillette, Wyoming. If you've been watching any news, seeing any of the weather patterns, you know that that area is in an extreme drought. I mean, a drought of historic proportions, a drought for them. Now in Alabama, where I am, we've had more rain. We can't get anything done because of the rain. But out there, they never get very much rain. They're basically high desert. But this year, they're getting no rain. It's so bad that Mike is going to have to reduce the size of his herd. Last week, he bought 6 round bales of hay for $175 per bale. Now this winter, he will feed multiple bales per day for his herd right now. At 100, if he can get it, at $175 a bale. That's going to make beef prices, for him to make any money raising cattle, paying $175 a bale, you wouldn't want to pay the price per pound for beef. So you may think it's not your problem, but it's going to be your problem. Sonora, Mexico. Mexico normally imports 500 million pounds of beef to the United States. That's not going to happen this year. Sonora has seen their herd this year alone, their cattle herd, Sonora, Mexico, go from 1.2 million head to just over 600,000 head of cattle. Cattle in Mexico are starving and dying because they have no food. Ranchers are watching 10s, 20s head a day die and hit the ground. They're getting nothing for that. And I don't care what the politicians in Washington think. I know I heard one of them say, we don't have to worry about it, we'll just build more grocery stores. We're going to have to worry about this. And I know out in Alabama, what could we possibly do? I know I've only got 200 subscribers. Who am I appealing to? Well, let me tell you, I'm appealing to you. Go to Our Wyoming Life, go to their website, buy their jerky, buy their t-shirts, buy their hats, send them a check to help pay for some hay costs this year. Ranchers all over Wyoming, this is just the one that I know, he's going to have to reduce his herd, which is horrible. Other ranchers are getting out altogether, selling off their entire herd and walking away from generations of families that have lived on that land. And you know what's going to come? When they sell off that land, probably to the tax man, then some developer is going to buy it and they're going to put up a subdivision that's going to give more people there that's going to need food, and there's nobody raising any food. Every ranch that's raising one egg, that's raising 1 gallon of milk, that's raising 1 beef to feed only their family is what keeps this country going. And so we've got to do something, people. We can't just keep our head in the sand and act like this isn't our problem, because it is. And so I beg you to look up Our Wyoming Life, subscribe to their channel, support them any way you can. We need those guys. We need Mike and Aaron. We need Wrangler Star. We need Stony Ridge Farmer. We need these guys to be able to survive. I go to work every day. This is basically a hobby farm for me. But one of these days I would like to be able to turn a profit on selling my beef. But we need everybody to be working together. And if you can't do anything else, pray for these people. Pray that they'll have the strength, because let me tell you, these are some of the toughest. You meet a farmer and you're meeting one of the toughest individuals that you'll ever meet in your life. They know how to make do with nearly nothing, but they need our prayers and they need any support we can give them. So I'm just asking you that if you would just consider, just go like their page, look at what they're doing. You'll love Mike. He's got that radio DJ voice, and that's what he was before he went to the ranch. But they're just salt of the earth people trying to keep a way of life that's dying before our very eyes. So I'm begging you, help them out. Support our channel. Do it by liking, by subscribing, by watching the videos to the end, and then giving a thumbs up. If you're already a subscriber, just give us that thumbs up. Ring that bell so that you get notifications. We appreciate you. We appreciate the subscribers that we've got in these first 2 weeks. We pray that you like some of these things that we're doing. Remember, later this week, we're going to build a transporter out of a cattle panel to go into the back of my truck to haul goats to a birthday party that I wasn't invited to, and see if we just can't build this ranch. See if you can't see us fence this in. You can't even see the other fence post on the other side right now, but soon we will be turning this in to pasture. You'll see the goats. I'm going to try to let them help me. There's so many ways to do this. You could hire somebody to come in and clean it. You could get a tractor and a bush hog and then disc it up and plant grass. Or you can do what I'm probably going to do and try to let the animals turn this, put carbon back into the land and turn this into usable pasture. There's nothing better than an animal that eats green pasture and turns it into protein. It's the greatest way. It's how God created the bison and the cow to live, and we're just trying to do our part to keep this thing going the way God would have us do it. Thank you, and God bless.